Hundreds of earthquakes were detected underneath Mount Rainier in Washington, so what's really going on? Let's talk about it. First of all, these earthquakes do not mean that there is an eruption coming. In fact, we've seen no other indicators that magma is moving underneath the surface. This is more likely due to fluids, hydrothermal fluids and water circulating within the actual volcano itself. On July 8th, there was a swarm of earthquakes detected underneath the surface of Mount Rainier, and these earthquakes were very, very small in size. There were hundreds of them, but the biggest one was only magnitude 2.3. It would be very hard to even feel that if it happened in the vicinity of you. We only know about these earthquakes because Mount Rainier is covered in seismometers and sensors that can detect this. These earthquakes are not thought to be associated with magmatic activity, mainly because we've not seen any of the other indicators that normally accompanies magma moving towards the surface. This is usually the ground inflating, so we can tell this from GPS sensors and tilt meters that are on Mount Rainier. There may also be thermal signatures up on the volcano itself, or maybe changes in groundwater or gas chemistry, but we've not seen any of those. There's no ground inflation at all, so it looks like the earthquakes are just to do with fluids moving around Mount Rainier itself. Mount Rainier is also a very big volcano that has a glacial top, so there's ice on the top of it. It also receives a lot of rainfall, and so it's quite common for there to be a lot of water moving around the volcano itself. Also, because we are on an active subduction zone, this is an area of tectonic activity, there will be fluids moving through the crust. Some of those are hydrothermal, some of them might be magmatic from far, far deeper down, but either way there is just lots of fluid moving around, and sometimes those fluids are finding their ways through new fractures and basically opening those fractures up. That's what the earthquakes are actually caused by. It's the movement of fluid and sometimes the forming of new cracks in the Earth's crust. These earthquake swarms can occur quite frequently at Mount Rainier. The biggest one comparison to this was back in 2009. This one has just surpassed it, but even so, there have still only been a few hundred earthquakes, and 3 days later, by July 11th, it's already subsided down to near background activity. As always, whenever events like this do happen at volcanoes within the US Geological Survey and the volcano observatories, in this case the Cascades Volcano Observatory, are hot on collecting the data and getting the information out to the public, which are the graphs that you've seen in this video. If you're curious to find out more about Mount Rainier or its past eruptive history or what these earthquakes and fluids even mean, then just go check out the site of the US Geological Survey and the volcano observatories.